Hello, everyone. My name is Jeremy, and today I have a very special guest on the podcast. We have Eric Taft from Great Heights Band, Buzz Lounge Studio, and So Fetch, right? Is that about it, or is there more to it that I'm missing?
It feels like there's always something else cooking, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I
Thanks for
could,
having me.
of course, I could always go down the list and be like, all right, Dead Like Disco, Taller Tales, all these other things you filled in for. I could always just go down the list because I've seen you fill in on a
I mean,
lot.
yeah, if you're talking about fill-ins, then it's yeah, it's
The
you
list
nailed
goes,
it. You did a great job.
the list goes on for fill-ins because when we met, I mean, I had seen you guys, seen you at the Great Heights in 2018. I think it was actually, it might have been Angels. It was when
Okay.
you were doing the free music video, I think it was around that time.
Yeah, that sounds right. I think we shot that at when A Place in Time was doing their CD release, maybe?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I was told to go out.
Yeah.
Ronnie from Sharia Mar, formerly of One Life the Lead, is like, hey, have you heard of Great Heights Band? I said no, but that name's cool. He's like, yeah, you should go out and see their performance at Angels Rock Bar tonight. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I was like, okay, and immediately I was hooked.
Ronnie's a real one
Yeah,
for that.
Ronnie's great, and I'm glad. And they've gone. They're in Equal Vision now. I think, isn't it about that right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep, for sure. Yeah, they're crushing it. They're out on tour currently. I don't know
with
when this
I
airs,
think it's
but
Gucci Waters or something like that.
I don't know. I think Jake Hill is one of the people and
Okay,
something I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but they're
yeah.
crushing it. And Ron said the shows have been really good, so I'm stoked for those guys.
Yeah. So, well, I recently just saw you at the emo night at Zen West, which was a lot of fun seeing. Because I don't know if you've done Paramore before.
Yeah, so I've speaking of fill-ins, I play guitar with my friends in the band Dead Like Disco whenever they do the Paramore thing. So I've done it with them. I want to say that was probably like maybe the 10th time or something that we've done that.
Right. So you're with them when they
Um,
were doing Crush Crush.
yeah, and then it was actually we were doing it, billing it as Crush Crush, but it's also Dead Like Disco, and I was like, guys, this is kind of stupid. Like, you should just call it Dead Like Disco because that's your band, and it's confusing. And all the other bands, like Shuttlecraft doing Green Day, but they didn't make up a different name for when
Right.
they were doing Green Day. It's just like it just gets confusing, and then it takes up a ton of room on the flyer too to like explain what Crush Crush is as opposed to just saying what the name of the band. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's silly.
Yeah, it is. But everyone's really, really cool in that band. They're all really nice people. And now I want to ask you, how did you get started with doing music? Like, what was the influence, or how did it all come? How did Eric Taft become Eric Taft?
Well, you see, when a mommy and a daddy love each other very much. No, so I grew up in a not with anyone else in my family playing music, but my dad was always listening to me. He always had music playing in the house. Always had a really extensive music collection, and he had this habit of reading Rolling Stone magazine, and just any CD that got 4 or 5 stars, he would just buy it sight unseen, like without having heard it. So I have my copy of Enema of the State was from my dad. My copy of that Lit record that had My Own Worst Enemy on it, that was my dad's. Brand New, Deja Entendu. Like, there was just some crazy music, as well as like obviously all the classics, a lot of 80s, a lot of Beatles, a lot of new wave, a lot of that kind of stuff. But I also, discovered a lot of new music in like a really crucial, pivotal age. And so from that, I wanted to learn how to play guitar. No one in my family played any instruments. So I was kind of the first to pick up a guitar, want to take lessons, all that kind of stuff. Um, And then let's see, I played guitar for a while. That was the only instrument I played. And then there was some buddies of mine in high school started a band and needed a drummer. And I didn't I didn't own a drum set, but they had one. And so I kind of learned drums just to join this band in high school. So as far as drums, I'm pretty much entirely self-taught. Um, and so you mentioned So Fetch. I play drums in that band. That's a
Okay,
cover band that does all 2000s music.
I have yet to see you guys because every time you announce a show, it's either Virginia or somewhere else.
I know it's a lot of DC and Virginia stuff. We want to do Soundstage sometime in the next year. That would be a really good time. But we've done Ram's Head a couple times, I think. Uh, but yeah, I mean, and then as far as like stumbling into recording and production, that was born out of that same band I was playing drums in. We needed to record and just never wanted to spend the money to do it, or I don't know, we were maybe more confident in our abilities to do it ourselves than to bring someone else in. So I just kind of always recorded my own bands out of necessity and kind of just really took to that process. And then, went to school and studied music technology and I have a music degree from UMBC, but there's an emphasis in the music technology. So I've been doing that pretty much as my primary source of work since 2011, 2012.
Okay. So been
Yeah.
a long, long time, like 13 years, like about 13, over 13 years. We're around that time now.
Yeah. Yeah. I started the first iteration of the Buzz Lounge studio with a buddy of mine that was 2011. So the Buzz Lounge has been a thing, it's really just the name of my studio. Like I've shifted, I used to advertise Buzz Lounge, Buzz Lounge, Buzz Lounge as like a studio that people could Google. And in the last 5 or so years, I've shifted kind of pushing my name and my brand as a producer rather than just like a studio anyone can just come on down to, you know what I'm saying? Because I try to put a lot of emphasis on like my process and my work as a producer over just the studio. Um, so, but yeah, Buzz Lounge is basically just my brand.
Yeah, because I know you had a YouTube channel, or it's still up. I just don't know. I don't know what's, or at least it was when you and Ronnie did that sucker cover.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was a
yeah.
lot of.
It's funny that the covers started. So one of my roommates in college, I think it was my sophomore year. My roommate, this guy Matt Nepo, he and I used to do covers, like pop punk covers of like 2000s songs. So there's like we did 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton. We did Everywhere by Michelle Branch. And there's an all-star one, Smash Mouth. And we would do these like every couple months or so. And it was really just to like have fun, kind of be creative while not having to like write anything new. And it got a ton of traction. We did a cover of Lights by Ellie Goulding in the first version of Buzz Lounge. I think that came out in like 2012, and it got like a couple 100,000 views on YouTube. Like there were some that kind of did really well. So that thing of like doing covers really just to like I don't know, stay fresh, like keep myself engaged and interested. Like it's like if I feel like I'm getting too bogged down with original music or getting too bogged down with stuff that's not stimulating me and just like feels like work, then I'll do a random cover or something like that. And I feel like it just kind of keeps me fresh and keeps me having fun.
Yeah. Well, I had the luxury of hearing a cover with Great Heights not too long ago at the Metro show when you all did Hit or Miss from Newfound Glory.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun. We've been talking about doing a Fun Glory set with those emo shows that Kevin Hawk does. I know that for a while we were doing like Weezer. For some reason, we got like put into this box where people were like, oh, the Great Heights Band kind of sounds like Weezer. And then we used to cover Buddy Holly. And then it started to be like, well, you should just do a whole set of Weezer. And then we got linked up with this band that does all Blink 182 stuff, this band called the Dude Ranch from New York City. And so we've done a couple tours with them, doing like a Blink and Weezer thing. And like it's fun. I personally am not like a tremendous Weezer fan. I think they're fine. They're great. But, you know, and then Weezer kind of doesn't really fit on an emo band bill. It's like it's kind of a stretch.
Right.
So we've been talking about doing a Newfound Glory thing, and we have a set list written. We just gotta, learn the songs. And I don't know
Well, you
if
got
you're aware, but just being in a band and coordinating schedules when you're, trying to rehearse original music and trying to put out a record, it's hard to do, man. It's hard to do.
right. Which brings me now to Great Heights, because I know you joined the band, like, because when I had Neil on a few years ago, he said, when I asked him, he said that you had joined the band, like, later on.
Yeah, Neil, I think, started the band in 2014, and it was really just like an outlet for him to, he had a couple demos kicking around, and I think it kind of started out more as a studio project, and then Paul played the drums on the recordings, and then it kind of snowballed. There was a song called Portland that they had put out, and that got them signed, and then they did the second half of their first record with me producing, and that's that record, Songs in Eastern Standard Timing. Um, Although I still play guitar on a bunch of those songs just from the studio. Like there's a song called I Don't Need You Anymore. It's the first track on the record. I think I play all the guitars, even the guitar solo on that song. But I wasn't even in the band. It was kind of just like we just hit it off, that whole crew.
Yeah.
Um
You're basically the studio member of the band trying to get it done for them at the time, I guess.
yeah, I mean I definitely didn't like do all of it for them, but there were just some parts where it was like, hey, if you can play this cleaner, like go for it. And that's kind of been the mantra of Great Heights Band in the studio since then. But yeah, I filled in on a tour. They needed an extra guitar player, and then they asked me to join some partway through that tour. And yeah, I mean the rest is history.
Yeah. What's your favorite song from like if you look back at like all I know it's really hard to because as a musician I'm sure it's hard to pick your favorite song, but is there a particular song that you love to play over any other one?
Oh, that's hard. That's hard. I feel like what makes it so difficult is that each record we've put out is like pretty, I don't know, they feel so drastically different. And maybe on the outside it doesn't seem that way, but just being
Well,
someone who was involved in making them, they resonate so differently with me.
yeah.
Um,
Well, full
I love,
disclosure, everything you guys do, every record or EP you guys put out, it's no skips. I don't skip a song like at all.
oh man, that's awesome.
Everything,
That means a lot. That yeah.
well, you know my
Well,
favorite
actually,
song.
Jeremy, I got to say this. You got to know this. You are one of the most supportive fucking people in the Baltimore music scene, and like the unwavering support that you show to all the bands that you gas up is like so fucking awesome and so rare. And like, I just want you to know that like the bands that you do that with, like we all see you, and that shit means so much to everybody. So just want to get that out of the way because that's fucking awesome. Um,
Yeah, I've noticed
but
that there's not many people out here that actually like get like care. Like they'll be like if you do like I've known people that have gone and done like, oh, I've done a cover set at a bar because, it's how I'm gonna fund my music, so I'm gonna do a cover set
yeah,
and then they'll go and make original stuff. There was a band, I think, do you know Saving Apollo?
yeah.
Yeah,
They did
so
Blink a bunch of times, right?
so I met them in an the first emo show, the very first emo show Kevin Hawk did at Soundstage, with and it was a My Chemical Romance cover band that that ended the show. And I asked them if you guys got original gigs coming up. They're like, well, we got something small in like Dundalk area in January. I'm like, okay, cool. And I actually told them I'd come out, and they're like, okay, that'd be awesome. And then they actually were shocked that I showed up. A lot of people, I guess they get told that they'll show up and they don't. But I love the local music scene over pretty much national. Not saying that there's no issues with national acts. It's just I don't know. I just like the more like it feels more like more real and intimate with everybody else. Like that's local and you get to talk to everybody and yeah, everyone's really been really nice and I just support everybody. I don't doesn't matter what genre or whatever it is. I support it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, listeners, it's tough because people are more likely to check something out if they know that other people are also checking that thing out. Like people don't necessarily like to take the step to be the first person to really like discover something or support something. But then when that thing gets popular, everyone's like wishing they could have been there at the ground floor or been like, oh yeah, I listened to them fucking way back when. It's like it's so strange because there are so many great bands in Baltimore like pushing and making it trying to make it happen and just writing great songs and like it yeah, it's tough. I think that's the biggest thing is people it's a lot of work to like just there's also so much new music that can be intimidating. It's very easy to have your like Spotify Discover oversaturated with tons of music and some of it sounds the same, but then the ones that stick out, that's you got to trust your gut and chase it. Like so if there's something that you fuck with, doesn't matter how big or small it is, like embrace that.
Yeah.
And if it is a smaller artist, let that artist know because that shit means something.
Yeah.
That could be the difference in someone continuing to make music or not. Like for real.
Yeah, cuz
So,
my brother who hasn't been out to a Great Heights show, which I told him next time they play, I'm dragging your ass out no matter what. Of course, the other one, of course, that was before Maryland Day, and you guys played Maryland Day, and that was a very busy weekend for him. And I knew it was that weekend that he was going to be busy. I'm like, damn. Well, next time you guys play, and him and his wife were away on vacation for that Metro show. But
mm,
I'm like, there will be a day where I get you, because he went with me to Admiral's Cup in 2019 when you guys did that like
oh my gosh.
2 hour set.
Yeah.
So he loved your music he's like, "Oh man, they're really great." And I'm like, "Yeah." And he owns Rad Pop on two different color sets of vinyl.
Oh, no way. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So he likes you guys a lot and I told him like, I will get you to go. I will drag you out to another one like when they're not doing just covers, it'll be like original set and stuff cuz well, my favorite song is Quicksand.
Yeah, that song is sick. That song is really like
Mm, Honestly, I don't
I
know
don't know.
why I love it. I think it might be the music video that got me to fall in love with it. Which I'm now gonna
It's
ask
a
you.
cool music video.
It is. So I'm gonna ask about that. Where did the ideas from the Quicksand music video come from, or did you guys have a director tell you guys, or when you guys make a music video, do you get the final say on how you want it to be, or does the director kind of like just shoot it, or you know what I mean? Like, because when you're filming on a movie,
Yeah.
the script there's a script writer and then there's a director telling you what to do. Like, do you since you guys are the product it's for, do you guys have the final say, or is it kind of like we'll
I
go?
mean, for the most part, yes. I mean, we try to we come up with all the concepts for our videos, for better or worse, and so and some of the stuff we end up doing pretty DIY, like the video for Straight to Hell, we shot that in the house that Paul and I were living at, and our buddy Ian Bell shot the whole thing, and then I edited it myself. So we come up with the concepts on our own. We really like. I hate making music videos, but I love having them as like an asset or like a thing you can look back at and be like, this is cool. We come up with all the concepts ourselves, but then we also so on Quicksand, we worked with the director Bradley Adam, and he also did Clutter, and he just did our new video for Above the Water.
I love that. I love that
Um,
song. The video I like too, but I like the song more, if that makes any sense.
yeah, hell yeah. So what we do is like we'll come up with a concept, and it'll start out pretty lofty, and we have to we understand like okay we have to it has to be a thing that we can shoot in a day and like doesn't use up a whole ton of locations, doesn't need a whole ton of like extraneous effects or all this extra stuff, and like has to be easily executed but effective in how it's portraying whatever it's about, because like sometimes the concept can be too abstract and it doesn't come across, and so we're very conscious of that. But you know, when we're working with Brad, he's really got a great eye for like, okay, how can we simplify this in a way that is really effective and like gets the point across, but still looks great and doesn't look so like I don't know. He's just really great and he's a really efficient worker too. We shot Quicksand at this place. I don't think it's there anymore. It was in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. It was called the Thought Lot. And
Mm,
we shot it all in there. Like the band was playing in one section, and then we had that dining room table set up just in front of where the band was playing. But the whole idea was that it looked like a. We tried to make it feel like it was a big mansion with a ton of rooms and shit, but it was really just all one big room, and we just kind of transformed it. There were some movable walls and stuff,
yeah.
but
Well, the video is really good. I like it.
yeah,
And I would never have known
thanks.
that without you saying that it was just one, basically one big space. I would never have known. Because it looks like it's
Yeah, I
like,
mean, yeah, that was a process. But Brad is has a great eye. We hired a producer. This person, this girl Hannah, who had a secondhand. She had a consignment shop that was in the Thought Lot. So actually, she acquired all of the wardrobe for all the extras, and then whatever people didn't want to keep, she just sold in her shop, which is pretty awesome. Um, yeah, that video was like a whole ass team effort. Really came out well too.
yeah, I really liked how you guys just like show up to like this sketchy house to like play a party at. I'm like, yep. I'm like, and I was joking with a friend of mine. He's like, that does sound like what a small band would do. Just play like that, play a house show. Just show up to some random address and just play like whatever. Who cares if they're gonna
I mean,
be
yeah,
these
we kind of
crazy?
wanted to give the vibe of like, yeah, like if someone was like, "Hey, I'll give you guys $1,000 to come and play at my house," it's like any band would be like, fuck yeah." Like any band of our level would be like, "Yes, absolutely." Like, say when and where, and then that's the kind of. It's just in that rare instance, this we got eaten,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. And the funny thing is, well, not really. It's not really like I don't know what the song. I guess because I was listening to like a lot of easycore at the time. So like when the breakdown, like, cause you guys don't do a lot of breakdowns, for the most part.
Not really. We're not really that kind of band. I think we have there's a song on our new record that has a pretty like heavy bridge breakdown, and our buddy Omar, who goes by Rowley V, um, does some vocals on that. But I mean, yeah, we're not really that kind of like pop punk band. I think we get put in the pop punk box a lot, which is fine. But I think, we're definitely more pop and like alt rock leaning.
Yeah.
Um, so
Something.
yeah, we don't really venture too much into breakdowns.
Yeah. Well, I do like that's. And your new your, well, not the new record that's coming, but the record before, Cabin Fever. It's crazy
Hmm.
how that release happened because it was dropping right as we all were experiencing cabin fever.
Yeah, it's funny because we had actually named it Cabin Fever before the pandemic had come about, and it was like it was supposed to be a full length, and we were writing and writing and writing, and then we all of a sudden weren't allowed to see each other or like hang out or anything, like work on it. So we're like, fuck it, it's already called Cabin Fever. Like that's literally perfect. Let's drop it. And so it came out April of 2020,
Yep, April
and
20th,
the timing was
2020,
perfect.
right? April 20th, wasn't it? April 20th?
I think that's right.
Because I,
April 20th or the week after, because I think Rad Pop was April 20th. That's Neil's birthday, but it's also 420.
yeah, yeah, but since we're talking about Great Heights and all this stuff, new record, but I want to get back to you personally, like, because you worked with a lot of different bands. You've worked over the years with a ton of bands. Because you worked with like, what was it, Less Than it was it Less Than Jake or Real Big Fish, or was it both?
Oh, it was not Real Big Fish. I've worked with I've mixed a few songs for Less Than Jake in the last like few years.
Yeah. So going, who was your first like, as if you can go back that far? So how did you get back like? Because I know you probably you did like a lot with like smaller band projects, but how did you get like into like the bigger projects like Less Than Jake or Under Oath? Because I think you worked with Under Oath once, right? Or was it a couple times?
Yeah, yeah. So I, I have had a few studios. Like I said, I started Buzz Lounge in 2011. Then I had a studio in Westminster, and then I had a I was bouncing around, but for like a 5 year span, I had a studio in Beltsville, Maryland, which is right next to College Park, just to give you a sense of an idea.
Beltsville's also by,
And so
isn't that by the Blair Witch?
I don't believe so.
Oh,
It might be.
something like that.
I've never been to where they shot Blair Witch Project. I do know that it's in Maryland, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it's somewhere. I know that. It's somewhere here. I wasn't
Yeah,
not sure.
yeah. But anyway, I the house that I was renting had a studio behind it, and that house was owned by the producer Matt Squire, who was living in LA at the time. So I was renting his that house and working out of the studio and doing records um and so he moved back to Maryland. He's a Maryland guy. He bought the house in 2006 after the Panic at the Disco record he did blew up. And so he recorded there for a few years. He, did So Wrong It's Right, All Time Low. He did 303.
Big
He
Time
did Boys
Rush.
Like Girls. Yeah, but not in the Beltsville house. I don't think he did Big
No,
Time Rush. He did
I just know he worked with them on it because I
oh, for sure. I mean, he's done hella records. He's a great producer.
yeah.
So anyway, he moved back to Maryland and hit me up. I'd met him like maybe once or twice, and he hit me up and was like, "Hey, I'm looking for an assistant, an engineer. Like, do you know anyone?" I was like, he's like, "I'm about to start interviewing people." I was like, "Don't do that. Like, I'll do it because I live here and all of my shit is in that studio." And so we started working together, and he was kind of like, he had done a lot of stuff in the pop world, like you said, doing Big Time Rush. He did some development stuff with One Direction, some Ariana Grande shit. Like, he'd done the pop, but that's just like such a competitive game, and like he's more of like a rock guy kind of at heart. So he was starting to get back into his roots and like working with bands and doing that kind of shit. So I was his assistant and his engineer for not his assistant. I was his engineer for like 2.5 years. And in that time, we did the Under Oath record, a record called Erase Me, and we worked with the Amity Affliction from Australia, did a record called Misery. Um, he and I worked on a record with Plain White Tees out in LA. I was there just engineering drums. We cut some drums for a few days. Um, and then, yeah, I mean, we worked together for a while. And then after a while, like I needed to start focusing on my own stuff. And so I ended up moving out of the house into a different studio just so I could have more time to work on my own projects. I started to feel like, this is cool, but like the money wasn't great and the hours were like killer. Like there were some records he was a little more passive on, and I was like, you know, doing a lot of the heavy lifting, most of the work, and getting paid like a really small engineering fee. So it was, it got a little it wore me down after a while. So I was like, look, I got to start taking on my own projects. I got to figure something out. So I ended up moving to a studio just outside of Baltimore and kept, working with my own clients. The Less Than Jake thing is interesting though, because I mean, I've been a fan of theirs since middle school, you know. Um, so I've met them a handful of times, but I knew Roger, their bass player. He has a studio in Gainesville, Florida, and he does recording and stuff like that. So the band I was in college, a band called The Old Line, was working on a record, and I hit him up to see if he would want to cut a guest vocal, and he did, and he was super cool and gracious with his time, and cut a great vocal, and that was like, dream come true for myself, like a little personal goal. But he and I just kind of stayed in touch as like two guys that record and produce, and like we would always just like catch up and shoot the shit. And then there was he was working on something for his other band, a band called Rehasher, and needed some mixing done, so I worked on that. And then Less Than Jake was doing a series of quarantine songs during COVID, so I mixed those, and it was just we just kind of stayed in touch. And when he needs stuff that I want to like mix a proper record of theirs. I've done like a split, and I've done, a song they put out on like a flexi and compilations and stuff, but I want to do like
You want to do like a full
mix an
blown.
actual record. I know, it'd be so fun.
I think those guys would. I think those guys would be a lot of fun to work with. Just I've seen Les and Jake multiple times. They look like they all have a fun personality on stage. So I'm like, those guys, even if they have arguments, at the end of the day, you can tell that they're like, at least on their stage presence, it looks like all is well and good because they put off a really good. They give off that vibe like you want to go party with them after they're done.
Totally. I mean, they've been a band for 30 years too,
Yeah.
so there's definitely
Were
like,
you at the Rams Head
you
show
know,
at the Hello Rockview Rams Head?
I was there. I was there with my brother. Yeah.
I didn't. I didn't. I honestly, when I go out to like shows, I don't actively look for people. But if I'm going with people like that, I know, and if we run into them, that just happens. Like me and Ronnie, we went to Newfound Glory and Less Than Jake together because I had bought tickets for us to go see them, go see Newfound Glory and Simple Plan, and then COVID, hit the
Yeah.
canceled that at Fillmore, and then they moved it to Rams Head, and I was like, hey, you still want to go? He's like, yeah. We randomly bumped into Matt, who was in One Life to Lead, and then we ran into Neil, and it was just a fun party. Everyone was it's really fun when you get to see people out and about.
Oh, hell yeah.
But yeah, the
Totally. I feel that way every time I'm at like a bigger show, like of like a national act in Baltimore. Inevitably you see like there's at least like 5 to 10 people there that
yeah, or I've at
you
least
know, and it's
seen.
cool. It's a good scene.
It is, and I'm really glad to be a part of it because, like I said, first local show I ever went to, it was probably that emo show, and then I got hooked into like this local scene, mostly because of Jimmy and Brian from Others May Fall when they were a thing.
Yeah,
Those
yeah,
guys,
yeah. I worked with Others May Fall back in the day.
yeah, the album I have it around here somewhere. Something about a massage and like a what was it?
Believe in Happy Endings, I believe is the name
Yeah,
of.
that they have one out. I don't know if that's their
Yeah.
only album, but that's what I have. And I remember when I went to meet Brian at the end of their little super group project they had that night. I got a shirt and two CDs, and he signed one. He told me to keep. He said, "You can like this is the one you listen to, and I'll sign." Like he signed the one that he just signed one. He gave me an unopened one. He's like, "Here, you keep this. Just like that way, you have one as a collector's item." He's like, "That way, when I make it big, you can sell it for more." And he's an all right. He was an all right guy that night. Game and the T-shirt. It was like one of their first designs, I guess, but it was really cool. And that's when I was like, all right, I need to look into more local stuff because these guys look like they work all like, even though they're cover sets, like you can tell a lot of time and effort was put into it. I've been to multiple shows where people will give a good show, but I've been able to notice how much they actually really care. You know?
Totally. And like I mean, I'm not blowing smoke, man. Like the amount of support that you show to the bands on the local level that you connect with, like that is that means a ton, like that it like. And so I guess that's me making a statement to anyone going out to a show. Like if you connect with the music, like tell the artist.
Yeah.
Seriously, because I do think that there are artists there are local bands at any given local show that you go to that that, that are like there's some bit of them that's like, yeah, maybe we should hang it up. Like I don't know how, no matter how small that feeling might be, I guarantee you that it exists probably in everybody. It's like, yeah, maybe it's not a good idea. Even if it's like 2%, 1% that feels that way. So telling them that is fucking huge. That can like change someone's trajectory. I truly believe.
Yeah, it's been wild to see how many people I've seen come and go in the years, and some people just move on because life throws them a curveball and said, okay, now we gotta talk real. This was fun for 6 years. Here's life.
Yeah,
This isn't looking because believe it or not, people, if you're listening, I interview a lot of musicians, and I'm talking to a musician and a producer right now. Not everybody does this full time. I talked to Alex about that because this that he works for Monster Energy Drinks. Nobody,
yeah,
not everyone can say that this is a full time job for them, even if they wish they could. They do it because they love it. Yeah, it's insane how much I've figured that out. Like I used to think, oh, that guy's playing soundstage. He must be able to do this full time. No, that's just because they were able to make time for it. I didn't think about it because I didn't think about that as a going to multiple shows. I don't think about that kind of thing until I get to know the people, get to talk to everybody.
yeah,
It's crazy, but you've been able to make it like at least because you do mixing and all that production stuff and everything. What was it like during COVID, if you don't mind me asking? Like, because
yeah,
you couldn't have anybody physically come in really and record. Like, were you doing everything like at home, or how did it? How?
yeah. Oh, I think you're cutting in and out.
Hello, 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 hello.
Yeah. Hold on, I know what your question is, but I was getting like just bits and pieces of it. I think you were breaking up a bit.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Um, but yeah, I mean, during COVID, I shut my studio down for a few months. I think when the pandemic hit in in March. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're coming in good now.
Hello?
Hello, hello, hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay, there you are. Hey, what's up?
Hey.
So yeah, I mean, during the pandemic, I closed my studio from like March till June, and then was having people over in very limited capacity. Everyone masked up, everyone. I was doing a lot of remote mixing work. I was living in a, hello?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
How's this? Is this better?
Yeah, definitely coming in better now.
Hello, is that
Yeah.
okay, cool. I just switched to my
Oh,
phone.
you're good.
All right. So yeah, I mean, I during COVID, I shut my studio from like March to June in 2020, and then um, brought clients in like very limited capacity, like one person at a time, two people at a time, everyone wearing masks, like sanitizing all the gear, all that stuff. And then I started working with full bands again, probably like January of 2021. I think was when I worked with a band called Again in May, and then after that, I did a record with a band called At Face Value, but that was like in the thick of the pandemic. Um, I took on a lot of like remote work, so like producing stuff for clients remotely, having them cut vocals at home. Actually, I did a record with a band called Viridia from Nashville. We did pretty much everything remotely. I zoomed with their vocalist and we cut vocals over Zoom. I controlled her screen over, with remote control over Zoom. It's just like, it really did kind of change the landscape of how you could make a record. I think a lot of people just adapted out of, survival mode. And it's kind of crazy. Like I've made a lot of records with people but right before you called, I'm producing a track for this artist Piper Shaw, and she's actually like a correspondent for the Seattle Kraken, the NHL hockey team.
Oh.
But she also writes music, does like pop punk music, and so I've been producing songs with her. But I've never met her in person. She lives in Seattle, and so we do a lot of stuff together. But it's all 100% remote. I'll build the tracks here, cut the stuff, and then she cuts vocals and sends me stuff, and then I'll mix it, and that's that. It's really like there's really no limit to like how a record can be made now, and it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So when you were doing everything through Zoom, did you find it more difficult to do it through Zoom, or was it easier, or how does it, I'm pretty sure it was definitely a change for you, but like
Yeah.
did you adapt to it really
Oh, it
well?
it sucks.
Oh.
It's fine. I mean, like, so in the case of that band Viridia, their vocalist Dina, she's got a killer voice. She had her mic set up at home and she was recording using Logic, and then through Zoom I would control her computer and be listening to what she was recording using this plugin called Listen To, which is this company called Audio Movers that makes it streams the audio. Um, so like, I mean, it worked just fine. It's just there's something about being in the room with the artist and the immediacy of like hearing something and reacting to it, and like I don't know. It's so much more fun to be physically with the person you're creating with. Um, it just kind of changes the vibe. It's like, but it's there's something to be said for the fact that those sessions can happen at all remotely. Like it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's really crazy how much technology is, because like you can, like you just said, you cut records through Zoom during a pandemic and working with people through well, I guess in the case of like bands that live far out, I mean, I guess if you can, like you said with Viridia, I guess it all works out, because if they got the setups for you, you can learn how to do it. But what do you like to do like in your downtime? I know it might sound crazy saying downtime because I know you play live shows, then you're also doing this, and then like what do you do if you like if say you have like a day off, like a very big day off, like what do you like to do besides sleep? Don't say sleep because I know we all love sleep.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, I mean, if I'm not working on music, I still try to like write music if I have spare time. Or like I don't know. I try to like try like in keeping with the same conversation about doing covers. I try to like do stuff that keeps me interested or like refreshed feeling. But aside from music, I love playing video games, like super into. I just about to beat Hogwarts Legacy. I'm a Hufflepuff if anyone is interested.
I
Um,
haven't played
and that's
that.
been
My sister-in-law loves it.
it's yeah, it's pretty sick. I'm really enjoying that. Let's see, what was I playing before that? Um, I mean, I don't know. I love that they did the not just did, but they did the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater reissue 1 and 2, and that's like the only game I can play online and actually like crush people at. I thought about holding like if a band could beat me in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, that like I would give them a discount on a record or something. I don't know if I really want to do that, but I am really good at Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. And that's just like it's like muscle memory, dude. It's like riding a bike, except you're on a skateboard. But like I played those games so much when I was a kid that like now that it's remastered and redone and the controls are like way more responsive, I'm pretty fucking good at that
Yeah,
game.
and we're recording this on the 13th of October if anyone's listening, but UK and Europe finally let Microsoft, because I don't know if you follow video game news as much, but last January 2022, Microsoft was trying to buy Activision Blizzard.
Oh,
The
really?
deal went in today. The FTC is allowing them to buy it. The UK is allowing them to buy it. So Xbox might be the console to have for Activision Blizzard games because everything's going to go on this thing called Game Pass. and it's like 15 it's like
Mm.
18 a month, but you get like an access to like over 1,000 game library. So I think that's kind of cool. But a lot of people are like, that's a monopoly. But anyways, I don't really talk about video games. The last game I played, I recently just played the new Kirby game last December, and I beat that. I love that game. Love Kirby.
Oh hell
I'm
yeah.
a PlayStation. I don't really care what consoles. I don't. I just look at games like I want that game, want that game, want that game. I want to play it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still on PS4. I'm like, I haven't made the leap to like PS5. I would be super into figuring out like a VR setup to game on. That seems really fun.
Yeah.
I'm on PS4, so I can't play Starfield, but I'm like super into the Fallout games.
Yeah, you can always play
Um,
those.
yeah, Fallout 4. I was playing 76 for a bit, and it's like fine. But 4 has a special place in my heart. Um, I don't know. I really like kind of like vast games where you can kind of make your own your where your choices kind of like reflect,
Yeah, kind of.
you
Yeah.
know, in the
So I play like Life
yeah.
is Strange, and like the James.
Why does that sound so familiar?
That's
What is that
so
game?
Life is Strange plays a character named Max Caulfield, and she is in photography class, and one day she finds out she can time to a certain extent and make the decisions from that.
Mm,
And some choices you
that's pretty
make
sick.
affect the game. And yeah, it don't matter how many times. It's not like gonna be like a choose your own adventure where the game builds as you make choices, because that would be wicked expensive to mass produce. I imagine that would be way too expensive to do. But yeah, you basically make your own decisions. Some character dialogue changes throughout the choices. I played the game 10 times. It's so
Oh
it's an
wow.
easy game. I think I still have the physical copy on for PS4. So next time I see you at a show, if I have it with, let me know and I'll give it to you because I have it on my PS5 now. So if I have the physical copy still, just give you the disc.
Oh, right on,
Yeah,
dude. Yeah, I'd be down to try it. I'm always down to play new stuff.
yeah.
I played that game Stray, where
Love
you're
that
like a
game. I
cat.
have that on my
It's
PS5. It's
amazing.
so good. It's
That
so weird.
that one's great. I went into Untitled Goose Game for a bit. That game is wacky, where you're like a goose and you're really just kind of just being a dick to
Yeah,
people.
I play
Like
Goat
it's like, oh,
Simulator.
take this. Like, yeah, that it's oh, Goat Simulator. Is that what you
Yeah, it's
said?
kind of like that kind of thing where you can just play as like a goat, but it's a goat kind of thing.
That's so funny, dude.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah, so video games are like the main thing that I like to do when I have free time. I really like to cook. I love cooking. Um
what's your favorite thing to cook?
I honestly like I like just kind of making shit up. It's like, oh, I'm gonna make some kind of I don't know. It's before I even settled on what it is I'm going to cook. I have the garlic and the onions sautéing in a pan. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure whatever I'm gonna cook, it's gonna have sautéed onions in it. So I'll just get that going, and then I'll figure out what it is I'm gonna cook. And like,
Eh,
that's so applicable. That works in all kinds of stuff. But I don't know. It changes. We were doing like one of those meal subscription services for a while, and that was like in the middle of the pandemic. And I feel like I learned a lot about just different cooking methods and stuff. And now we don't do that anymore, but I don't know. I just feel like I'm pretty resourceful in the kitchen. Um,
yeah,
yeah, there's nothing really specific that I like to cook. I enjoy cooking, and I like the act of like making a meal for somebody. I feel like that's a very cool thing to be able to do. Is like, hey, I found this recipe and it reminded me of you, or I think that you would enjoy this, or I think that we would enjoy eating this together, or whatever. And like I just think that that's a cool thing to do for somebody.
right.
So I enjoy that.
So I want to go back to cutting the record thing because you talked about doing like if a band could beat you with a discount. Um, obviously, I'm curious because it's a different topic. But what the like how like if a band came to you like obviously like if a band like some random band I don't know they're called Duck Ducks Forever. They want. I'm looking at a picture of a duck. Ducks Forever comes to you and says, "Hey, We want to produce a 15 track album. I know it's more than what they release normally, but we want to do a 15 tracks with you. Full production from recording, writing, full shebang. What do you think? About for 15 songs? What does that average at the end of it all?
I mean, it depends, you know, like are they short songs? Are they like what's the arrangement of the band? Is it
Pop
like
punk,
full everything? You know, like that's the thing. Like it really I have like a flat starting rate that I offer, but then it slides from there depending
depend on
on how much attention.
how much it's gonna
Yeah, like depends
take.
on how much attention. Yeah, and so I'm not a producer that does like time-based stuff. Like I know that there's some studio, and this is kind of why I got away from the model of like Google my studio and work, like come record. Like I don't really do the thing where like just anyone can record. Like I want to kind of have the say of like the projects I take on and who I'm working with.
Let's just say this just
Because I quote per project. I sometimes I'll do like an hourly thing, but that's really rare. That's like, oh, we've cut everything and we just need to do
mixing or
drums.
mixing,
Then I'll do an hourly thing for that. But like when it's, you know, a full project or a full mix on an entire project, like I just do one fee, and then once we agree upon it, then that's that. Because here's the thing, man, like I've been in so many situations where it's an hourly studio, like it's, you know, they're paying the engineer by the hour or whatever, and like someone keeps fucking up a take, and then the other band members get annoyed because it's like, bro, why are you fucking this up? Like you do this all the time, like stop fucking it up, because they know that those mistakes are costing them money, because it's costing them time. And like, to be honest with you, that is not an environment that I want to be creative in. Like it's just really hard to like just throw your inhibitions away and like just be creative and just be, and like when you know that the clock is ticking and you know that that ticking clock is costing you money.
right?
And another thing too, it's like the way that I produce, I might have an idea and be like, it might not be a very fleshed out idea. It might be a half baked, like, I know that I want this part of the song to feel like this, but I don't know how to get it there. Like, it might take me an hour to figure out what I want it to do. And then if that idea doesn't pan out, then at least we know for sure. But I don't want the artist to feel like I've wasted an hour of their time that now they're paying for figuring out something that didn't work. Like I hate that feeling, but I want to feel like this unrestricted time to be creative. And so, you know, that's usually my approach. I'm very artist centered. I like being a guy in a band also. I know that like money is tight. You know, no one, rarely ever are people doing this like as their only work. So I'm pretty sensitive to that, and I just want people to feel like comfortable when they come in. Like I feel like a comfortable environment will nurture the best creative ideas, and I want people to feel like, especially, you know, I have clients come in that have never recorded before, and it's a super delicate situation, because if someone's never recorded before, to hear your voice back once it's been recorded can be pretty jarring. Like it might not sound like the way that you expected it to, or the timbre of your voice captured by a microphone sounds different than the timbre of your voice as you hear it resonating in your own head. So just by nature, right? So the way that you handle those first time recording clients can shape the way they feel about recording forever. Like if someone goes to a producer to record a song that they wrote, and the producer makes them feel stupid for not being the best on the mic or whatever, that's shameful. Like, you know, those producers that do that should be ashamed of themselves, because that's fucked up. Someone is paying you with this very delicate, it's like a baby, right? It's like, I wrote this song, I'm coming in and I have no experience. That's something like, I'm humbled that people do that and put their trust in me with that kind of stuff, you know?
Right. What's the longest that you've like say like what's the longest project you've recorded like that you recorded with a band on like 6 months? Like how like what's the longest?
Probably the new Great Heights Band
Okay.
record.
Yeah, that's been that.
No, I mean, no. That though, I only say that because we work on it like off and on. That's the tough thing with like the local level bands is like you work, 2 days here, like a weekend day here, like it's kind of spread out. But straight through, I mean, those records I worked on with Squire, I think we did the Under Oath record was a 2 month album. We did, and then that was every day, like 12-hour days for two
Oh,
months.
and you said
Um,
that wasn't really good with engineering like like engineer money either.
no, the money was not great. The credits were fantastic. The work experience was amazing. Like I got to work really closely with all those guys. Aaron Gillespie said I was the fastest drum editor he's ever worked with, which is tight. Like I loved that whole experience, and I really liked that record that we made. Um, yeah, money was not great, but like I knew that going in, and I agreed to it, and I think that the experience gained from it is invaluable. But yeah, that one was a 2 month record. We spent a month doing pre-production, which is basically like the band has demos or rough recordings of the songs, and then you kind of break those open and make sure all the arrangements are as strong as possible, change any, make sure all the parts are working together, all the transitions are there, all the it's not necessarily the exact takes or the exact parts that are going to end up, but it's pretty fucking close. And then by the time you get to recording the actual record, all of that guesswork is removed and you're just focused on getting the exact right tones or the exact right takes or the exact right, whatever it might be.
Right. So I know you've been on a couple, like you said earlier in this interview, you went on a couple tours and stuff. Do you have a favorite tour you've gone on, or like,
Ooh, that's a good
because I know you
question.
guys did Portland and all the West Coast states in 2018 with Rad
Yeah.
Pop and Pink Spiders.
Yeah, I would say it's a tie between two tours. In 2015, I played in a ska band called Party Like It's from DC, and
Is that what
in
is that the whole
2015,
name? Party like it's DC, or is that just from?
no, Party Like It's just Party Like It's
Oh,
dot dot dot, as in Party Like It's whatever. It's a stupid name, but we did a tour in Japan in 2015. We did 9 shows in
oh,
Japan.
how'd y'all pull that off? If you don't mind me asking.
Our let's see, our trumpet player at the time had played in a band. He's from Oregon, and he had played in his band in college was with these two guys from Japan, and they've all just kept in touch. And they, their bass player has a bunch of connections in Japan, and then our trombone player is also from Japan himself. So they just between their both of their connections in the ska punk community in Japan, we were able to put together what they did. I didn't really do anything. They put together 9 shows. We played a big ska festival at Club Cheetah in Tokyo, and then had a couple. We had a couple warm up shows, then did that festival, and then took the bullet train to the other coast of Japan and played some stuff out there. And it was a great
Did you
tour.
do any sightseeing, or was there no time?
A little bit. It was mostly we had a couple days off. We didn't get to do anything. Well, it was I mean, and also we were taking public transit to a lot of the shows. A lot of the venues in Japan are backlined, meaning they provide the guitar amps and they provide the drums and they provide all that stuff. So we were pretty much traveling all around with our guitars on our backs, instruments on our backs, and then we'd take like the train or take the bus or take whatever. I don't think maybe not a bus, but we took trains everywhere pretty much.
Mm,
So we saw a lot of the cities walking around and stuff, which was pretty cool.
nice.
Um, but the other tour I would say it's tied with was Great Heights Band did a West Coast run back in 2018 with a band called I the Realist. And so I'm from California. I was born in San Jose. And so what was cool about that tour was like just all the family I got to see. Like my grandfather came out to the show we played in Cupertino, and some of my dad's old friends came out to our show in Oakland. Like it was just cool. It just felt like every step of the way. And we played in Oregon and got to stay with my godparents, which was super cool. Um, we played in Vegas while the Capitals beat the Knights, the hockey team, in the Stanley Cup, which was crazy. The Golden Knights. So Paul's a huge Capitals fan, so was having a good time getting in people's faces about that.
Yeah, my
Um,
my brother and him would get along. They love the cat.
oh hell yeah, dude! Yeah, I mean that was just for me personally. That tour was just like really special because it was cool to like get to. It's always amazing when you are somewhere on tour and there's a crazy life experience and you're like, damn, the only reason I'm out here experiencing this thing in this very moment is because I play music, like is because of the music we write or the music we've done. Like it's that tour that has brought you to that place in that moment in time. And so for me to be able to see a bunch of my family and like, get to catch up with people and it was really, really special. That was always really cool.
Yeah, is it scary going on tour? Like, is it? Do you ever feel homesick? Like, go, no pun intended, because I know you did the homesick song from Kings of the Wild Thing. So no pun intended.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no pun intended on feeling homesick. When you go on the road, but like when your very first tour opportunity came, were you like, I'm gonna miss home?
Not really. I know that it definitely gets difficult to manage. Like I know I miss my girlfriend, I miss my dog. Like it sucks kind of getting away from your routine. And then like if you're in the middle of working on stuff, like it's that's really the biggest headache is like, you know, make taking time off from work and taking time away from your loved ones. But then I never really like that, I've gotten pretty good at keeping in touch over like phone calls and texts. Like you really got to like make a conscious effort because the day you'll be driving and then once you get to the venue it's like pretty much doing stuff until the show is over.
Yeah,
So there's not a ton of downtime, but when there is, you got to prioritize what you want to,
yeah,
whether it's a phone call home or doing some work or whatever. But it's really I've never really felt homesick. It's just the making sure you're managing all of those logistics in addition to taking care of yourself, eating well, and like playing the shows well.
right.
It's just a lot to think of. I've never been nervous, but it does. I mean, you know, touring's hard, especially now.
Oh, I imagine it's a lot
Just like
different.
shit's expensive.
Everything's gone crazily up. I'm pretty sure it's gone. I can't imagine touring now, but um, another question I had is favorite. Well, actually, before we get into that, I've gone on. I want to call it the road, but really I've traveled. I don't know if you ever heard of the band Go on Red.
Mm-hmm.
So Go on Red, I've
Yeah.
gone on the two shows in PA with them, and I've gone to a show in Maryland with them, and then we went to Delaware for one show. That just me being away from home for like 6 7 hours. Sometimes I'm just like I feel like, oh man, I hope everyone's okay, because like it's new to me, because I'm starting to now get to a point where I just go and set up a camera and like they play the show and I just watch the recordings back. But I'm just like, this is awesome, but at the same time, it's like I miss home. Sometimes I just miss home.
Yeah.
But it's also new to me. But what is so? What have been some of your favorite shows that you've played like in the past? Like, well, maybe not in the past like few years. I don't want to go because I know there's probably been a lot. But is there a specific place you would love to play regularly if you could?
Let's see. Well, favorite show we played Soundstage. I want to say that was I mean it was probably December of 2022, 2021. We opened for Everclear at Soundstage, and that was a really cool show because it was just us and them, and they were super kind, super gracious. They gave it. We had a 40-minute set, which is like amazing. It was like kind of a best case scenario. We got a full, nice long sound check. Like our shit was nice and on point, which is always kind of a question mark. You never really know as the opener if you're gonna, you're not always guaranteed a sound check. You're not always guaranteed to make sure that like your shit works. And there's something about getting a little bit of time on the stage to just kind of familiarize. Okay, this is what this stage feels like. This is what like. I know that that sounds silly, but just like like holding your guitar and standing in front of where your mic is going to be on a stage really just kind of helps you visualize how the performance will go, at least for me. And there's something to be said about just like, even if it's not even a full-fledged sound check, just getting that time to be like, okay, this is okay, I can picture this now. And I swear to God, I feel like the shows go better.
Yeah,
um
cause
we always really like playing Metro Gallery. We always really like playing, and really anywhere that will have us, please just let us play music.
right.
It's pretty much
Yeah,
it,
cause
you
I
know.
worked with I was long day in August. I was with Nick all day, Nick Ellison, entertainment. I was shooting part of his documentary. He's making a Rapolo Entertainment documentary. It's not a secret, but he asked me to come out and do all the filming for August 19th at the Wrecker, and the management at Wrecker, super awesome people. Love them. I've met them. They're really nice people to me, and they're really supportive of like, oh, that's cool. You're here with a camera, document this. This is awesome. I'm like, I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not. They weren't. They were really happy to see that because apparently, I don't know this 'cause I haven't been going to a lot of local shows, but apparently the Wreckers, like, they closed down and then they reopened and they're really happy to see that they're
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
being documented like it's like a really big thing. So, they even said, well, if the band that was like the headliners guaranteed to sound check over anybody. So I did hear they're like,
Yeah,
and
for
I didn't
sure.
know that. I'll be honest with you. I thought everyone at least, because you always see the local artists go on the stage with the guitar, and you hear a sound guy or sound woman. All right, can we get bass? To make sure everything's working like that. I found out that's called like a line check or something like that.
Yeah, so if it happens right before the band plays and they don't get to play a song, but they might check the levels of their monitors and check, yeah, then it's just called a line check. Meaning they're checking each of the lines, each of the channels to make sure that they're getting signal. And you know, it's like, I mean, and like if you just get a line check, that's fine. It's like, for me it's really just more so a state of mind, and just like I love I feel like if we as the band have gotten to play even half of a song on the stage and know that shit sounds good and is working, like that's so invaluable. Just like for all of us to make the noise on that stage and know, okay, this is cool. This is what that feels like. Right on. That's okay. I'm good. you know, there's a little bit of stress that gets alleviated.
Yeah, because you know,
So
because as you like we talked about multiple times. Well, you brought it up more than me about loving the local scene and everything. Because I love seeing you all play. This past July was 7 times for you guys, and I'm really, really glad you all are still going. Because honestly, when I had Neil on a few years ago on this, when we were talking about cabin fever. Now here we are almost over 3 years later now talking about cabin fever and everything else. Has there been a specific song that has been released? Actually, before I ask that, I'm sorry, I do have to ask the Above the Water music video, if you don't mind me asking. You guys filmed that in the cold, and like I don't know where you guys filmed it at, but is the I've seen music videos where the water falls on people like it's raining. Was that water like extremely cold? Because it was cold outside the day you filmed it.
so we shot it inside, and it was, I think when we shot it in June, so it was definitely super hot out, but we shot it indoors and the water was freezing cold, and there's air conditioning on because we were indoors. So, and what the thing about those, they call it a rain room,
Mm.
right? And it's meant for like modeling shoots. The dude that had the photography studio, he's like had a bunch of like single subject shoots in the rain room, but never a full band. And we were like, well, fuck it, we'll get in there. And it sucks. Your feet, you're waiting in like, I don't know, it's probably like 6 inches of ice cold water, and then that water gets recycled through a bunch of pipes and then up to the top, which is what rains down on you. It's like a fountain feature,
Yeah.
right? Like it just keeps recycling the water. But the water droplets have to be just like chubby enough so that they'll get caught on camera. So they're, 5 times as thick as like a chunky raindrop. And so they're heavy, and you got to headbang and you got to be all active while this cold water is beating down on your head and shoulders. And so yeah, by the end of it, I mean, our necks and backs were pretty wrecked. It looks sick. It's well worth it, but man, that video sucked to make.
Oh, I have.
So if you're listening to this and haven't seen it, go watch the music video for Above the Water, because your boys suffered for that one. Neil almost passed out. Like, we finished shooting the band shots and he was like, we had to like hold him up and like carry him out, not carry him, but like stand him upright while he was leaving, because while he was getting out of the tub or wherever the basin thing that we were
Mm.
in, because he almost passed out. Shit was
Yeah, because
crazy.
you guys filmed that outside. Like, you guys filmed that like in a different, like, wasn't it like a different state?
It was in it was a photography studio in Bunker Hill, West Virginia.
Okay. One of my actresses that will be at the film premiere that I'm having at Zen West is supposed to be coming, and she lives in West. So I'll ask her if she heard of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
right
but
on.
it looked like a fun video. But now I want to get back to the question I was gonna have. Is there a certain song that you like? I think we've already talked about like prefer to play or whatever, but is there like I know you talked about how it's on the upcoming record, but if you had to pick like a set list of like 3 songs, like say you only had like a 45-minute set list, or about normal for you guys when you guys do headlining, but like what is one song that absolutely has to be on the set list for you to like to do? Like, is there a certain song that you would play over anything that's out now that
Yeah, I think now Above the Water has to be in every set list. It just,
it's a
there's a thing that like even before we put it out, when we would kick into the intro, there was like a thing where people were like, I think we maybe played it 2 or 3 times before the song came out. And that was always the song where people were like, I don't know what that was, but that one, that's that's the fucking one.
were you guys
So
playing
that one,
were you guys
what's
playing
that?
that back in March of 2022?
No, not then, because we wrote it. So actually, what's funny about Above the Water, we went to a beach house. One of Paul's friends has a house in Ocean City, and we were able to get in there for a few days. So I packed up a bunch of my studio shit, and we packed up all of our gear and went there for like 2 or 3 days and wrote and recorded Above the Water in like 2 days. So we didn't, that song did not exist, and then all of a sudden did exist, which is kind of cool. Like, that's the first song in a really long time that we've all written together, like in the same room. um we don't usually write that way. Usually, it'll be like I have a demo or Neil has a demo, and we'll bring it into the band and we'll all kind of learn it. But Above the Water was different. That was the first, like, there's footage of it that I'm trying to edit something from it, but as I'm like setting up my computer and getting ready to record, Neil starts playing this chord progression, and it's the thing from Above the Water. And there's a moment where it's like, oh, we all stop and we're like, what's that? That's cool. And then you can hear like there's this cool transition where we're like, all right, now we're trying to figure out what the riff is and how we play it and what the parts are. So it's pretty cool. That is how that song was born. But I think because of that, because we wrote it live as a band playing in a room, that's it. That, I think that's part of why it feels so good, and translates so well to the live setting.
It is a really good song, and you've been ending that with your because before you guys were ending your sets with Straight to Hell.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've been ending sets with Above the Water, mainly because Neil has to like scream in it.
Mm-hmm.
And we we would do it at, like the second song in the set, and then his voice would be fucked by by the end of that song. So it's mainly for functional purposes, for logistical purposes, but it does work really well as a set ender. Um,
Yeah. So I have
yeah.
probably the most craziest question, but you guys have a song called "Blue of a Bat," which anyone
Mhm.
that knows about that song, if you guys haven't, please go stream that song too. That's a really really good song. Link in the description down below. I don't know if you've heard this, but I think the acoustic version that you and Neil did on video is a lot more. In my opinion, I like it more than the studio. If that makes any sense.
That it makes sense that you like one over another. Yeah.
I don't know. Did you did you what
um,
do you like the acoustic or do you prefer the studio recording, like the studio version?
I prefer the studio recording, but I think the acoustic version is cool. I think we did that live at like on so the studio I had outside of Baltimore was in this, it's like built out of an old barn, and there was a little like patio rooftop thing, and so that's where we recorded that. um and it was, yeah, it's cool. We were really just, we're just trying to create content, and so that's what that acoustic version was born out of. It was really just like, okay, how do we have more stuff to extend the life of the single?
Yeah.
And so that's where the acoustic one
No.
comes from. Was that the crazy question? That's not a crazy
No, I'm
question.
just asking because like it is crazy because I've told people like that I prefer like a song that's acoustic that they've done versus studio, and I'm like, why do you say that? We just like why? What's better about the acoustic version? I don't know. But
I don't
I
know.
don't know, it just sounds like, especially if the message you guys are conveying with that song, that it just it I don't know. I guess because if it's a different feel to it, I guess.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I think the acoustic version came out really well. And I think, there's definitely, there's a time and a place for the rockin' version. There's a time and a place for the acoustic
Right.
version. And that's like, it's not right or wrong. It just
Yeah.
is, you know?
Now, with that being completely said, what is what is a Great Heights song that you would turn acoustic if it hasn't been already? Like, what is one that you'll pick out? Is it is it above
Ooh.
the water?
Maybe not. There's a short video on our Instagram of me playing one of the verses from Above the Water acoustic, but I don't think the entire song would necessarily translate. We did let's see, we played in Lancaster back in 2019 supporting we opened for Aaron West, what Aaron West and the Roaring
Roaring
20s,
Twenty.
the guy from the Wonder Years.
Yeah,
His like solo project,
yeah.
Dan
I saw
Campbell.
them at Soundstage in
Um,
2019.
oh hell yeah, yeah. So we opened for him at Launch Music Conference in Lancaster, but we played acoustic. It was like a full band acoustic thing. So Paul had like a hi hat and a snare and a kick, and that was it. And then we had like bass direct, and then I played acoustic, and I think Neil just sang. But we did a really cool arrangement. We actually did it. I have there's a recording of the whole set that I have mixed, and we're waiting to figure out what to do with it. Um, but we did a really cool acoustic version of Quicksand on that,
Mm,
which is neat. We
that's my.
did. There's a cool. Yeah, I know, and that one came out really
I
cool.
definitely want to hear
We
that.
did
Like,
an
if
acoustic
you guys ever
version.
figure it out, I want to hear that because that's my favorite Great Heights song is Quicksand.
I know. We might. I've been saving it. We've been talking about doing a Patreon,
Ah,
which is basically like a subscription for fans. But what I would want to do, I'm trying to like make sure we have a ton of content to be able to offer people that subscribe to it. And then what I would want to also do is
All
we would like stream our rehearsals so like fans could watch us rehearse and like comment. And then we would do like once a month or once every other month we would do a performance just for the Patreon fans that like we would take requests and just basically like hang out with the
y-
fans at like a rehearsal or a practice. But it'd be all streamed, of course. It would be like
like
over a live stream, but there'd be a chat so
it would
people
be
could
like an
like
unlisted video YouTube video link where you would live stream like listed where only the people with the link could view it kind of thing.
yeah,
I
basically. But it would be through Patreon. But we have a ton of content. We have this whole acoustic show. We have there's like literally we have demo versions of all of Rad Pop and demo versions of all of Cabin Fever and demo versions of all of our new record. And so there's that. We had done like B-sides and covers and just stuff that we haven't really like put out. Like we started to do a acoustic version of Rad Pop, or we were doing like alt versions and different arrangements, and we're just, I don't know. It's the same kind of thing where it's like what's going to keep us
yeah.
kind of interested in doing stuff while we're not like writing
Well,
a
if you
record.
all launch that
But
Patreon, I don't know, I don't put this out there, but I do. If like I know, Don't Panic, right? You guys, well, they open.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I'm on their Patreon. So if you guys open one, I definitely would subscribe to it for sure.
Right on. Yeah, I just want to make sure that it's worthwhile. Actually, let me ask you this: as a fan, what like what do you like to see from when bands do Patreons? Like, what is it that you look for? Like, what does Don't Panic offer? Is it like
So
exclusive merch? Or like,
so
what do they do?
Ted does a acoustic live stream once a month. Although this month they didn't do it for September, I don't think, because they were on the road in support of their new album, which I completely understand. And they just did like he released a 1 hour acoustic like pre-recorded video for the Patreon patrons, which I completely understand because and there were some people that were mad, but I'm like, come on guys, they're on the road in support of the record, like come on. And of course I'm the only one,
Yeah.
like one of the only few that actually understood this. Uh Last year Keith had a baby, or earlier this year Keith had a baby, so their bassist wasn't really available to do much, which I mean, come on now. That's family there. So,
Yeah.
what I like is I like the acoustic exclusive live stream every month with where they can make requests. He's gotten annoyed. We're always asking to play like because there's a song that they play called "Regret is a Terrible Roommate," but they don't play it live, so I'll always request him to play it on stream, and he'll actually get annoyed. He's like, "Stop," but he'll play it. He's like, "Ah, okay." But yeah, like Keith also writes a recipe, like he gives like a recipe that he like a homemade recipe once a month, like and sometimes there's a video with it, but I think this only happened a couple. Yeah, like just seeing exclusive like there is a merch discount code that they have for their patrons. I don't know how they generate that, but it's worked. I do know that because I got a new Don't Panic hoodie coming in the mail here in a few weeks that it worked on. So there's that.
Oh hell yeah.
It's not an exclusive merch. It's just like 10% off, whatever it is. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
that's cool.
I think it's like 10 bucks a month. I do for that, and I get like that stuff. I don't use it all the time, but yeah, it's cool. Patreon is cool for independent artists. Me personally, I would never do it because I
Yeah.
don't feel like I need to. And of course, I know not everybody likes my opinions on this, but because I still support people that do Patreon, I just don't like shielding content, but that's just me. Of course, obviously everyone has their own opinions on it. Like, exclusive B-sides, demos, covers, that kind of stuff is pretty cool. Like, cause I'm not gonna lie, like hearing oh yeah, I also heard the new album like 2 weeks early, so that was pretty cool.
That is cool. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we would probably do like listening parties with our new shit that isn't out yet, or like sharing demos. I don't really know. I just want to, my big thing is just making sure that it's worthwhile to the people that like might
Yeah,
subscribe. And I think that like you know, we rehearse once a week, so we would stream. I think the rehearsals we would probably stream to the general public, but then the like if we did a performance once a month, it would be like just for the Patreon
yeah.
subscribers.
Most
I don't know,
most people I've seen have
but
done like they'll have like a live stream and then they'll do like exclusive Q&A after.
oh, I
But
see.
that's
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's I because I also feel you on like shielding content. I don't want to be like.
give me
I don't want it to seem like we're like super precious with all and like high and mighty with all the stuff that we create, but we also like don't make any money off of it. And I spend a lot of my time doing it.
and
I mean, like each of us individually is like in debt to the band
yeah,
in some amount of money, and we'll probably not get paid back in full for a very long time, just because it's like every time the band makes a little money, it's like, well, we should put this towards more t-shirts, or we should put this
right?
towards more
Hey, by the way, this
things,
vinyl
or
press thing we did, we still owe them like $100.
yeah, dude, I know. Well, speaking of, we have copies of our record Rad Pop on vinyl, so if you're listening to this, go to our Bandcamp
Oh,
and buy
everything, guys,
one.
everything is everything in the description, guys. Go buy Great Heights merch. Eric, do you have any other specific other
Oh
merch
yeah.
you have that's not on the Bandcamp?
No, we got to order new T-shirts. We got to order new stickers. We're like way due for a re-up on our merch.
Yeah,
So, but we have a couple shows in the pipeline, and
but yeah, guys,
things
please
should be up
buy
and running
from
for that.
local musicians or buy from any musician you see, like even national. Buy their merch. Yes, the T-shirt may cost $50, but come on now. I've seen that.
That you make a great point. Come on now, that's a great that's a
Because
good argument.
honestly, so I've talked to a few people off the record. I've talked to a few people like out shows, like, hey, why, and I'll see comments like, why was that $50? I'll tell you why. It's because bands make very little money off their merch. If that T-shirt they're selling for $25, they might make 13 from that because like something like that. Like it's so crazy.
Yeah, well, and not to mention the venues that take a cut of soft merch, which is like you know
Does that
what
happen?
like so when they say soft, oh my god, yeah, that
Because I
totally
know Live
happens.
Nation said
Uh,
just for the end of this year, but they made that in September. Just from the end of this year, we're not taking no merch cuts. Does that happen with local bands?
yeah, that's cool. Don't do it. I mean, it doesn't happen. Let's see. I mean, yeah, if we played it like Fillmore, which we have, and they take 20% of whatever we make from our merch, which is horseshit because guess what?
The bar makes the money.
Fillmore didn't design the merch. Fillmore didn't print the t-shirt, didn't pay for the t-shirt to be made, didn't sell the shirt. They're just providing a spot. Like so some venues will provide their own merch person, and in that case, I get taking some cut to pay for that person that's selling your merch. But it's like some venues require you to use their merch person so that they can keep the proper inventory and make sure they're getting they really only do it so that they can make sure they're making the right amount of money back, which is horseshit because it's like, okay, then give us a cut of bar
Right?
sales. Like a venue would never do
No.
that. Like
Because,
you're not going to give me 20% of the drink you made, so why the fuck would I give you 20% of the shirt that I
right,
made?
like, I
Like
get it.
fuck
Yeah,
off.
like if it was like somebody that was provided to you from the venue, like you said, you would understand. But if it's you're a merch person, then they have like, you know what I mean? Like, say we have a person named Reggie, and Reggie's your merch guy. But for this one show, you have to use someone named Renee. That would be a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're. Okay, that's insane though.
It's
I've
oh
heard
yeah.
stories about merch cuts, and I know there are some people out there. Actually, I'm friends with a good person who won't take a merch cut. They'll just be like, "Give me a
Yeah, I
T-shirt, we're
mean
good."
no one should be taking a cut of anything that they had no hand in
Yeah,
creating.
yeah.
That's criminal. That's theft. Like That's like a,
That's
it's, I
like
don't know.
that's
It's a fucking
that's like
shakedown.
Subway coming after you for eating half a sandwich. They want to take like 20% of like that sandwich back.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I
I don't
guess
know if that made sense.
it's stupid.
But yeah,
It's like, yeah, it's stupid. It's whatever it is that it's not, especially because everything, like you said before, everything is so astronomically expensive. I was just watching this other podcast that like the the cost of like renting a tour bus now is three times what it was
oh,
years ago, which has made, there's a company called Bandwagon that they came out as like the affordable alternative for smaller bands to still get like a nice vehicle to tour in. It's, you know, it's a rental service, but even those now cost what a bus used to cost. And I don't know if you, if the, I mean, back in the day, a tour bus used to cost you like what, 2 grand a day, a grand a day, something
I
like
don't
that. It's
know.
expensive. And then, and you have to employ the driver and you have to, you know, pay for the fuel, which a lot of those run on diesel. It's just, it's crazy. It's astronomical.
So
And so like the least you could do is let them fucking keep all their, all their merch goods. You have bands now that like don't sell merch. It's like, look, fucking find us after the show and we'll sell you a merch out of our
now
trailer because we're sure as shit not going to sell merch inside the venue.
now did you guys rent a tour van for
I
your
don't know.
tours, or did you guys just drive it and just say fuck it? We'll deal with the expense when having to fix something later.
We used to have a van and it died one too many times, so we said fuck it. And then for a few tours we did, we were in two different SUVs and that was like fine. And then we, the last run that we did, which was not, it was a while ago, it was back in 2021, we ended up renting a van for that, and it was probably, that was probably the best case scenario because it's a rental.
Yeah.
And you know, vans are always dying. Like I feel like now to own a vehicle as a band is a pretty bad
That's
investment
almost
unless you're like making a ton of money per
that's like
show.
what, like
But
$20,000 in merch almost.
yeah, I mean it's crazy how expensive it can be, and vans inevitably always die, and especially when you're a band not making a lot of money, you're always like, okay, well, there's like a 1996 Ford E150 that is only like $800, and it's like, well, yeah, but that will. I only say that exact model because that's what our van was, and of course, it fucking died.
Right, you're like, that'll take us 20 miles
So
down the street.
I know we were driving through the Appalachian Mountains, and the fuel line was leaking,
Oh,
and which, like, when you're riding the brakes through the mountains, can ignite the fuel line.
yeah.
So it's
It's
stupid. Vans are dumb.
what I've seen bands. They said tour when they were asked about tour. It was one band, I can't remember the name, but they were like, "Let's call it an investment. We don't call it tour. We call it an investment." But yeah, a funny
Yeah.
story about the 2021 Blink and Weezer thing. I had gotten my paycheck. You guys were playing Fillmore 2 days later, and I contacted Neil. Hey Neil,
Oh yeah, because I forgot that show didn't happen because Neil got
yeah,
COVID.
Neil's like, hey man, show got canceled. I'm sick, but we appreciate you wanting to come out. But we'll be in Baltimore in like a few weeks, and then it's like a few weeks turned into like March of 2022.
Yeah, that really sucked. That was a huge bummer. I forgot that that tour was supposed to end in at
Yeah, cause I
Fillmore.
was getting ready. I had just got my paycheck. I'm like, all right, I have the allotted money for tickets and transportation. Let's go. Hey, what happened?
Bummer.
The show's not on the website anymore. And he's like, oh yeah, yeah, I'm not feeling too good.
Yeah, no, that sucked. We had to cancel, I think, our last like two or three shows because Neil got the
Yeah,
vid.
but in all fairness, I got to see you guys headline an original set. Well, 99% original set at the Metro Gallery from Feed the Scene with Eternal Boy and Don't Panic and all those guys.
Yeah, that was a
It
great
was a lot of
show.
fun. I remember Maryland Day. Oh boy, I'm gonna bring this one up. So guys, Great Heights not only one of my biggest one of the biggest bands I love so much in the local music scene. Cause also I love everybody in the local scene, but you guys aren't oversaturated, which I love. You guys actually only play shows when you guys want to play shows. So I commend you for that. Not to say that there's anything wrong with like multiple bands playing like multiple shows in a week, but I like it when you guys only play like once every like 6 or 7 months, you know?
Well, I just want to make sure that there's a demand, you know. I want to know that like
Come play my house
if we're gonna
party.
try to like
Come play my house party.
yeah,
I think that'd be fun.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. That'd be
Although I do think a DIY house party kind of thing would be fun where like we don't have all of our like production and shit and like we don't use in-ears and I'm down to like I want to just rip a show like that, like no backing tracks, just fucking go
yeah.
for it. I would be so down to do that. We used to so before we like introduced backing tracks, we had to transition to like playing live to a metronome, to a click
Yeah.
track. Um and because before that, I mean, if you look at videos or anything from our first tour back in like
Was that when you
2015 and
guys
20 maybe
the
2016.
Songbird shows on that was that around the Songbird show?
I think we were using tracks by
Mm.
then. This would have been like before Rad Pop, after Songs in Easter Standard Timing. We were fucking playing so fast, dude. We would just be cruising. It's crazy, and it like it's fun. There's an energy to it, but like I don't know, I you lose out on a lot of the like nuts and bolts of what makes some of those grooves really cool if you're just rushing through them.
Yeah. But yeah,
So
no, it's just been really like just being able to like do a lot of shows. I can't imagine the whole like metronome click thing. I mean, I think I've seen it for some bands, but a lot of bands have backing tracks, and I'm not gonna. Well, you guys use like I've noticed when you guys were in March 2022, Owen wasn't on stage with you guys, so backing tracks or bass made more sense.
yeah, so Owen got had a concussion. He played a few shows, or he had to sit out of a couple shows. I think we played in DC and then we played at Metro Gallery
Yeah, because
without
you guys
him.
have.
And yeah, so we ran bass tracks for those. And then yeah, I mean we do have backing tracks for our shit, but it's nothing like really crucial. It's like textural things or like extra little things that make the sound feel really
So
full when they're
it's not vocals.
like when they're no. There might be some like small
Yeah.
vocal things, but all the lead vocals are super. Those are all live and us. So when they sound like shit, you know that it's us.
Well, I
That's the
was
whole
gonna bring
point.
up the with the metronome click, the off the grid at the home performance when it's just you on guitar and you could hear that little click 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 in the background. Is that metronome?
Oh no, I just put like a Casio loop, like an old keyboard loop that makes it sound
Okay.
like there's like a little drum loop that's going on
Okay.
in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean maybe I left the metronome in, but I think it's just like a little like beepy
Yeah.
drum
Now
loop.
this one's gonna make you think because I just have to ask it. From writing, from start to finish, writing and all, instrumental wise, hardest song to do for Great Heights that's out now and that's not on the new record.
Probably better
Really?
things.
That's one of the best ones.
It was the hardest to hardest to write. How? What do you mean?
Like,
Like
okay, we need a song that we like, writing wise, like lyrical, like how like writing lyrical wise, or I don't know. I guess writing's not. I'm not. This may shock people.
I think so I say better things only because we rewrote the chorus like four times.
Okay.
We had there was one chorus that it originally had, which I wrote, and it was terrible.
Mm.
And then we reworked it, and then we had recorded one thing, and uh Paul has a tendency, our drummer Paul Martinez has a tendency of coming in at like the 11th hour with he's not like the most musically minded, or like he doesn't, like, vocabulary wise, he doesn't really know how to like put into words, in like musical words, what he's asking for, but he's very driven. He listens to music like a fan, or like an average listener in some cases. And it's really helpful because he'll listen to a thing and be like, it doesn't make me feel the way that it should. And like, it's making me feel like this, and I want it to do
Mm.
this. And like, so it's up to Neil and I to kind of like take that and interpret it in a way that's uh gonna help us shape the song into something else. And like, he kept referencing this song by this band called Sev, called Same Old Song. I don't know if you remember that song, but it was in a Pepsi Blue commercial back in like the
I
2000s.
I was born in
And
'94, man, so I would have been like 6, 7 when that probably came out.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was not born that much earlier than you,
Okay.
but it was a thing. It was I think this would have been like oh
Oh,
six
never
that this
mind.
commercial was
Maybe
out.
I heard it then.
Anyway, it's got this like chorus that, you know, makes you want to like throw your hands up in the air. And actually, I think that's even a lyric: throw your hands in the air. But he kept referencing that song. He was like, this is how I want it to make me feel. And so that's what we chased for Better Things. But that one, it was definitely a process to get it to that point.
Do you have
um
versions with all the original versions? Like, do you have like
yeah,
that's
we do.
Patreon right
That's
there.
part of like what I was saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we have like hella versions of there. I mean, there's different lyrics,
Yeah.
there's different grooves in the chorus. There's the original version that I wrote is terrible. I'm so glad that we changed that song because it's just not
So
good.
now we're gonna go into better things because when Ronnie told me to look you guys up, that video had just dropped. Like it was right before Rad Pop's album
Oh,
release. It
sick.
was like right around that time. So
Yeah.
your infomercial when you're talking about Rad Pop energy drink, um, that was a really
Yeah.
good hook. And like to grab people's attention. And actually, it was the second verse and bridge that got me to like really, really love that song.
Hell
It's
yeah.
such a good song. People, if you haven't heard Better Things by Great Heights, it's definitely one that I think a lot of new listeners that like to you that could definitely click with. Cause it's not, it's a little bit, it's like a little bit poppy beep and, like a little bit of a poppy beat and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good introductory song if you're just hearing about the Great Heights band. Also, yeah, it's got the music video. The music video is super geeky. That's one that our buddy Ian Bell shot and
Yeah.
directed and edited.
Do you,
He did a great job with that.
well, I don't know if I ever asked Neil this, but what was the drink that like the can? Was it just like a normal can or what did you get or was it green screen?
Yeah, they were. I bought it was just Coke. It was Coca-Cola, but they were the like miniature cans because they needed to be
Yeah.
red because I had the design. And then I bought on Amazon, I bought adhesive printable foil paper.
Mm.
So I designed the label for Rad Pop, and then I had like 2 12 packs of those Coke minis, the little 8 ounce cans or whatever. Um, so they were just little small cans, and then I printed out a bunch of these labels, cut them out, and adhered them to a bunch of cans. So somewhere there's still a can of Rad Pop floating around, but I certainly
Oh, I
don't
was gonna
have any.
say like
But yeah, it's just Coca Cola.
a little exclusive here on here. But Eric, I want to thank you for your time. I'm out of questions, but I guess the next one is what's next for Great Heights? I know you guys got an record dropping somewhere in the future here.
Sometime, yeah. So we've been working on our next record forever, and we've put out 2 singles from it already. The first one was called "Kickstart the Feeling." The second one is that song called "Above the Water." We have a new single That we're dropping a handful of singles and then we'll drop the record. But
Are you,
we've got the next single I believe is a song called Big Waves that has Trey Miller from Sharia Moore
oh, I
featured on
heard
it,
that at
which is really
Maryland Day.
cool. Yeah. He came up and did that one because we knew he was going to be there. So we did that one. Yeah, I mean the new record's really really good. I'm super pumped with
I'm
it.
excited to hear it, man. I love it.
Hell yeah, dude. I think you're going to
Are
really
you
dig
guys
it.
gonna do like a? Or please tell. I know you probably can't say anything because you don't know when it's gonna be, but a record release show in Baltimore, maybe.
I would imagine if we do a record release show, it'll for sure be in Baltimore. We will do a record release show. I'm not sure when, but I know that there will be a show, and it seems silly for it to not be in
Right. I
Baltimore.
would definitely love to.
That's
So
what I
don't
could
go.
say.
Like I said, like I tell every guest before we wrap up this. Before when we wrap up the interview, I do gotta play it back. And Eric, it was nice talking to you. Where can people find you on social media and everything like that? That people want to follow you. Obviously, Great Heights band, but is there anything else you want to share?
Yeah, right on. I mean, you can check out my work and stuff on my website erictaft.com. I have to update my studio photos. I spent the last like March through June of this year I was building my brand new studio with a buddy of mine. So I got to take some photos of all that. But I'm on Instagram at Eric underscore Taft. I mean, you could look me up on Facebook, but I don't really use Facebook
I know.
anymore. So you could try
I'm
that. But,
I'm glad we were
you
able to
know,
set this up, man. I've been like I told you, I was like I told you like a long time ago. Like I interviewed Neil like years ago, and he's like, "You gotta get Eric on." I'll try, and it was during COVID, and he's like, and you just replied with, "I hope so. Let's do it soon. Are we doing it in person or in the studio?" I'm like, "It'll be through a Facebook call, because that's the easiest way for me to do stuff like this." Oh, fun
yeah, dude.
fact, kind of a secret. I am working on renting out. Do you know the Baltimore County Public Library like system?
I'm aware that it
So they
exists.
rent.
Yes.
So
Is
they
that what you
rent
mean?
out where you could rent out their meeting rooms. It's like $30 for like 4 hours, and I'm thinking I could get like 3 or 4 podcasts done, like in person.
Oh, yeah,
Like
dude.
30 bucks. I'm like, I could drop $30 to record like for 5 hours. Like that's nothing. Like that sounds like that. But of course, you have an allotted time frame, and I'm like, well, shit. I'm glad I work with people who will talk to me through Facebook for 4 hours and not give me a lot of time frame.
Yeah, man. I mean, take it. Just here's a word of advice: if you're booking podcast interviews with musicians, and it's got to be a specific time in a specific place, that's where you might run into issues. I would do like 2 podcasts in that
Yeah.
time if you could
Well,
coordinate that. Because musicians, here's the thing, dude. Musicians are always fucking late. That's what
so,
I've learned in years of doing sessions with musicians and playing. Here's my takeaway: bands are dumb and musicians are late. No, I'm just joking. But that is a thing you might
yeah,
encounter.
I know it's like load in is 5, but you're not showing up till 5:30.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing though. If you want to get a sound like I we played at Jam and Java a few months ago, and I think loading was at like 2 o'clock, and everyone in the band was like, "God, that's so early. That sucks." Blah blah blah. And me and Neil were like, "We'll be there." Because it's like, if we get a fucking sound check, dude, I'll show up at 10 a.m. Like, if you give me a sound check, I'll be there. I'm there. And it's like, because that's what I'm doing for that day. Like, I don't, if it's a show day, I don't do stuff before the show. I don't do stuff after the show. Or like, my day is
Right,
that
unless
show.
something comes
So,
up in the morning that has to take precedence over it.
yeah, I mean, but for the most part, like when I can help it, like if I have a show day and load-in's not till 4, like I don't cram a bunch of stuff in my morning. I like,
Get up. Yep.
take my time. I take my time loading up because I don't want to forget anything. I take my time making sure all my shit is charged up. I take my time and like I have a nice leisurely morning. I like make sure I'm drinking a lot of water. I don't like to be too stressed, like, oh, I had to run around and I had to do this, I had to do that, to do this, and then I had to get to the show. And it's like that's no way to get your head right before you got to perform for
Right.
people,
So it's not
you
so
know?
it's wake up, get coffee or water, whatever you like to drink in the morning. Besides alcohol, don't. I know people that start their day off with that. I mean, I'm no better. I have experience from that, but that's not the point. But yeah, you get up, you pack up, look over stuff. I'm pretty sure you have a clipboard or of some sort, like mentally in your head. Okay, I got that guitar, I got that amp. Oh shit, I don't have that aux cord. Oh, I gotta go find it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's always a fucking cable, or it's always like a charger. It's all you'll always leave something
Like,
stupid
like,
behind, and that's why you gotta take your time with
and I know
packing
from
up.
Maryland that you guys had to be there like early in the morning. Like, what was it, like 10?
Yeah, maybe something like that. I think it was 10. I was the only one there. I was the only one in my band that showed up at 10 because I was providing my amp for the
Yeah,
whole
'cause
day.
I know
So every band
yeah,
used
'cause
my amp.
Oscar and Tom from Kings of the Wild Things got there like 8 a.m. They were
That's
falling asleep.
crazy.
Like
Yeah, I
before
don't
their
blame
set,
them.
Tom's in the back just chilling at the merch. I'm like, Tom, you good? Yeah. Can you go get me a Bud Light? I was like, are you sure you need that? Yeah, we go on in 5 minutes. I'll be fine. I
Yeah,
love those
dude.
guys. Those guys have been so great to me. I love them so much. I love everybody that I've met in the scene. Everyone's so nice.
Yeah, man. It really is a great scene. Are you coming out to? Are you going to be at Zen West on the 27th?
Are you going?
I'm going. Yeah,
It's
I'll be there.
old neon every avenue. I think I could swing it.
It's yeah, Eternal Boy and
See,
Act 109 and Kings.
yeah, I think I'll be there, but the problem is I'm at Zen 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And I'm at Zen West on the 28th and the 29th. Because the 29th is my film showing. I cannot wait. We
Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
that's
so
gonna be
we no
sick.
long this is a podcast update. We no longer have the set stage area where the bands play. We actually have the back bar, which is never open on Sundays, but they're opening it up for me because they double booked, which is completely that happens. I'm not mad. I was never mad. I'm just like, well, actually, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, so the question is, am I still able to have the 29th? Because I got people coming out of the state for this, and they've already taken time off work. And like, yeah, we're gonna work it out. I got confirmation last night that we're gonna have the speakeasy. We're gonna have that area. I don't
Oh,
know if you've
cool.
seen the speakeasy.
I've been back there once. Yeah, and then the other time I tried to get back there and I couldn't
Yeah,
figure it out because I don't remember how Nick got
so
back
the
there.
speakeasy is never open on it's not open Sundays through I think Thursdays or something like that. But they're opening it up for me because they did have it written down that I was supposed to do something and then they booked something else. So luckily it worked out. But that's a fun fact. I'm very excited to have something because I've been wanting to do something forever with film and like premiere wise that I able, but I should be there on the 27th. Maybe it's up in the air, but we'll see. I'm pretty sure because that's a lot. That's a lot of people I know, so we'll see.
Yeah, man. I mean, you could always print out some flyers and promote your uh
Yeah, yeah.
your
My
premiere.
premiere is just something small. It's just
That's cool though. I mean, you should still
yeah,
do it. It's whatever gets people. Because for every think about it this way: for every 50 flyers you hand out, like two people might
right.
come. Or just it's just good to get people aware of your
Yeah,
shit.
it's also free. So
Yeah,
I
there you
mean,
go.
just go to the bar, get food. I tell people who's going, show up early, get food, have some drinks, get food. The bartenders there are great. I
Yeah.
love everybody that works at Zen West, and the owner there has been super nice to me. Like when I asked him, like, "Hey, do you care if I have a film premiere?" He's like, "Oh, I don't care. Whatever. Do whatever you need." He's like, "Just make sure there's no other events going on." And then it was the opposite. There was an event that was booked, but again. It's another one of them things like things got lost things just get lost in the mail, it happens. I'm not mad. We still have a spot, so
Yeah.
I'm glad that Zen West, and that's my all-time favorite venue in Maryland. Like, that's a very nice space, and I know you guys just played there recently with Bite Me Bambi and Shuttlecraft.
Yeah, and I think we're there's another show in the works for early 2024, so
I will
that should be
definitely keep
cool.
updated with you on that. But all right, Eric. Before I let you go, again, don't go anywhere. I'll make sure I got this audio because we are almost at a. We are over a feature film. Take a guess how long this interview is gonna be.
It is an hour and 45 minutes.
Close. It isn't over an hour and 55 minutes. Pretty close.
Dang.
But again, for those that are like, this is going on for too long, I am working on cutting a. Uh, see, I'm gonna let you know this, Derek. I'm gonna let the timer keep going. I don't like. I love director's cut. You know how director's cuts like the movie might come out being an hour and a half. Director's cut's 2 hours. I don't
Yeah.
want to cut any.
Yeah.
I'm true. And they're
Yeah,
like,
you
cut
don't
the
want
fat. No, I
to.
like the talk. I like the conversation.
Yeah.
The conversation with it feels
Yeah,
real,
man.
and you don't hear a lot of podcasts. You know, you see. I don't know if you listen to Joe Rogan.
I've seen clips. I listen to Theo Vaughn's podcast a lot though. He doesn't really edit. He just kind of throws the whole
Yeah,
thing
and
up there.
I appreciate when people just like, hey, we had like a 4 hour conversation. Here's a 3 hour interview. I like hearing that because even though I might not watch it all or listen to it all, I at least know that there's 3 hours of content that I could listen to. But
Sure.
before you go
Yeah.
anywhere, I do want to say thank you again, Eric. I hope we run into each other again very soon. It's always great seeing you. Actually, every time I see you, like it don't matter if you're playing or whatever. Like it's always nice to see you because we met up at the Heart Bench show, and I didn't even know you were going to that.
Yeah, well, I love Heartband.
Well, I know
They're
you're
great.
also recording Heart Bent too. So
I am. They're a good hang. They're good people and they're super
yeah,
fun
did you?
and Foams is a very supportive guy. He's like always out to
Yeah,
shows, always like showing love to. He's just I don't know, this I think that that's kind of what the scene needs more of is like people and bands that are
supporting
just
other
like
artists.
very supportive of yeah, and because they're it can get so like clicky and competitive, and obviously I get it because it's I mean it's people are always like busy working on shit or busy
Yeah.
you know with lives, but it's if you can help it like get out and support your local scene because that's the shit that keeps people going, man.
Yes.
And you are a shining example of
I'm
that, buddy.
trying. I'm going out to actually funny story. I'm going into hibernation after October because I need a break myself, which I get from people who say I'd love to go to a show, but I gone out to this many shows already. I get it. We all need a break.
Yeah.
My film premiere is actually show 55 for me this year, so I kind of do need to settle down. But I go to everybody. I go Maryland Day was a huge thank you because I wrote everyone down in my phone that I could see. But if you listen to I don't know if you listen to Foam's interview that I did with him recently. Uh, he he's a great guy. I love talking to him. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
I
great. He's
You
a
know what? I'm gonna
super
keep
good
you on
dude.
here for 2 hours. No, I'm kidding. All right, everyone. Please check out Great Heights Band. Eric's social media. Please check him out. He's doing wonderful things. Working with between Under Oath and Less Than Jake a long time. Hopefully, you all learned some information about cutting music, cause I sure did, and about merch cuts, cause honestly, I'm not for that. I mean, I don't know if I'd get it even from a local like DIY space standpoint on it if they do. I don't know if I'd get it.
No, and most like Metro Gallery doesn't, Autobar doesn't. I know that when Sidebar opens up, Rachel sure as shit will not do that. I just it's
She
mostly
is
the bigger
she is an
rooms.
amazing person, by the way. I love Rachel so much.
Oh yeah, she's the
Um,
best. She's awesome.
Last year I did my Twitch campaign. I did a live stream on Twitch for I did 24 hours of gaming, and all the money went to her Save the Sidebar campaign.
Oh
So
wow,
she got
that's so
40
sick.
bucks, but I'm willing to say, hey, I at least helped out in some way. Because I, look, I know she's probably gonna listen to this and be like, well, because I'm gonna say I'm not a fan of, I'm not a big fan of Sidebar, but I do agree with DIY merch stuff, DIY venues.
Yeah, man, and it's so funny because that it's a cool like spot to see shows, and it never it just it needed that little that bit of love. Like it's when it opens and she's got it running, it's gonna be a great
That's
spot
her, because
to
that's
see a
her baby.
show.
That's like a baby of hers. Like she's been trying to, like they bought it, and I'm really glad she was able to. Because I know that weren't they like trying to like tear it down or something like that?
I don't know about that. There was
It just went
I
up
don't
for
really
sale
know
or something
the
like
how
that.
that
She bought it or something like that.
like she bought the
Okay.
lease, so she's leasing that space because it's just like the basement of the building.
Yeah.
But it's a great spot. I mean, it's like it's a it's a charmingly like I don't know. I'm gonna say charmingly shitty, but like that's the thing is like it doesn't have to be shitty, and it's not going to be. Like she and I were talking a while ago about like what she's doing to the sound system and like some of the upgrades and shit, and it's gonna go a long way. Obviously, there's all the other infrastructure stuff that she's been posting updates about, and just seems like it's a process. But that's the kind. Those are the kinds of people you, her,
Yeah.
like those are the people that a scene needs to live,
Dude,
man.
all right, Eric. Thank you so much for taking your time. Again, don't go anywhere. I'll make sure I have everything recorded. And again, this is
Yeah,
2 hours and 1 minute, so I appreciate your time so much. Thank you again.
yeah. Take that, Folmes.
You're an hour longer than him. uh, all right,
Well, there
man.
you
Well, it was
go.
nice talking to you again. Don't go nowhere. I want to make sure I got everything recorded.
He can put that in his vape and smoke it.
All
All
right. See you all later. Again, also, guys, before you, oh,
right, see you, bud.
don't
Thank you
leave
for
yet, Eric.
having me.
Again, I want to make sure I got everything recorded. Okay.
I know. I'm
The
doing that for the
podcast, yeah.
podcast
Guy,
so that the podcast has
yeah.
a sign
Next
out.
podcast, guys, is Austin Collins from Heartbent, the drummer of Heartbent. You guys won't want to hear. Oh, I'm gonna let you know this, Eric, on a little inside story. I don't know if you saw Austin's Instagram story, but Austin had a terrible experience with 8 by 10 so I'm really excited to get on the down low on what happened with that show. No.
I'm sure it's a story that
Oh,
I've heard.
probably. He actually messaged me out dearly, like, "Hey, I want you to hear the whole thing." I was like, "All right, cool, we'll do it." Because I don't think Austin felt comfortable talking. Not Austin, Alex talking about it. But yeah, sticking for that,
Mm.
guys.